to my channel, Health Lair. Dr. Vero here. So today I'm going to talk about 10 really cool, weird things that your body does that are kind of important, and usually people just think that they're really fun facts. So I'm going to list them first, and then I'm going to describe what each of them actually do for you. So hiccups, yawning, stretching when you wake up, sneezing, goosebumps. Those are the first 5. Second 5 are eye twitching. I know a lot of people have that little eye twitch, you know, it makes you look kind of weird. Memory loss, wrinkly skin when you're in the water for too long, tears, and the last one is jerking when you're falling asleep. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about each of these things and what they actually do and what they mean. Hiccups, why do you get them? Okay, so basically you have lungs, then you have a muscle that goes right underneath the lungs, and then you have your stomach and you have your other organs underneath in your abdomen. What happens is that when you take a deep breath, the diaphragm kind of like compresses and flexes like a muscle, and it shrinks. So it's gonna pull your lungs out, down, so you do that inhale. What happens in hiccups is that for some reason, the diaphragm, that muscle, gets irritated and it causes a muscle spasm. So it does this thing. And when it does this thing, it causes air to rush in really, really fast. So you do that hiccup sound, okay? Why do you get the irritation to that diaphragmatic muscle? It can be caused by a lot of things. It can be from eating too fast. It can be caused by drinking carbonated things, drinking alcohol. It can also be caused by acid reflux, or very commonly called GERD. Obviously there are many other reasons why you can get it. Usually hiccups go away on their own. It's nothing really bad to worry about. But if you do have hiccups for more than 48 hours, their name is persistent hiccups. And if you have it for more than 2 months, they're called intractable hiccups. And these are the 2 moments in time when you actually do want to go get checked out by a doctor, because sometimes it can be associated with strokes, which is something in your brain. It can be associated with MIs, or myocardial infarctions, aka heart attack. And it can be associated with a whole bunch of other things like tumors or things inside your stomach that you shouldn't have. So yeah, usually benign, meaning not dangerous at all. It just makes a really funny sound and it makes people laugh a bit. Okay, so number 2, yawning. Oh my God. So have you ever been just hanging out with a group of people and all of a sudden one person yawns, and then you try so hard not to yawn, but you can't help it and you just yawn, and then everyone in the room is yawning? Yeah, it's contagious and that thing spreads like wildfire. So why do people yawn? Well, there's been so many studies. There's a lot of theories. A few of them are when you are basically really bored, or when you're really, really tired. These are the 2 most common causes of yawning, but there's more. So you can also yawn if you're really, really stressed out. It's supposed to be a way of you kind of releasing stress. It also helps you to kind of like arouse you, because your brain is kind of slowly shutting down and it's like, hey, I'm falling asleep. So you yawn, and for the few seconds after you yawn, you get a little bit more energy so you can focus. But, you know, why is it contagious? Well, a lot of studies have been conducted on that too. Turns out really, really young kids don't yawn when they see someone else yawn. Kids that have autism also don't yawn when they see someone else yawn. People that have psychiatric conditions like schizophrenia, they also don't yawn when they see someone yawn. So why do we yawn? Well, according to a lot of studies that I was able to look up, apparently it's a measure of how much empathy you have as a person. So this means that you can relate to someone. So it's kind of weird and it really makes no sense, but the fact that you yawn and now I'm yawning, I'm empathetic and I can put myself in your shoes and kind of know what you're going through. Yeah, I don't know. But why is it contagious? We're not really exactly sure why it's contagious, but these are the things that can make you yawn. Just thinking about yawning will make you yawn. Just reading about it, hearing someone yawn, or watching someone yawn. So I wouldn't be surprised if at this moment you feel like yawning. Number 3, stretching as you're waking up. So have any of you ever been like, you finally wake up and you're about to start your day, and the first thing you do is you stretch all your muscles. Oh, see, I just cracked, it feels so good. And you do all these movements and you're like, now I'm ready, I can get down with my day. Well, guess what? That's actually also a way for you to arouse your body. It improves your blood flow. You just feel really good. You feel energetic. You squeeze the blood. I mean, you've been stationary all night. If you're a regular person, you've probably gotten between 7 to 8 hours of sleep. That means you've been in the same position most likely, for 7 or 8 hours. So the first thing you want to do is really pump that blood all over your muscles and really get that energy going so you can start your day right. It's kind of like an internal coffee, if you ask me. Okay, number 4, sneezing. Oh my God, why do people sneeze? Why is sneezing something beneficial? Well, actually, when you sneeze, it's basically you trying to protect yourself. What happens is that something that's not supposed to be there goes into your nose and it tickles something inside your nose, and then you just do the automatic achoo and you sneeze. What happens is that it pushes air at really high velocities. It increases secretions and it allows particles to be detached from the sides of your nose so that you can expel it out. Why is this good? Well, actually, it can help with allergies to push out the pollen or the dust. It can help with bacteria. If you have a virus in there that's not supposed to be there and you have bacteria in there, you really want to sneeze that stuff out. You don't want that gunk going into your lungs. Gross. Okay, number 5, goosebumps. Oh my God. So goosebumps. Yeah, okay, I get it when I'm cold. Yeah, okay, I also get it when I hear beautiful music and I get really emotional and you're like, ooh, I got the goosebumps, But apparently it can happen with a variety of things. It can happen with sexual arousal. It can happen with you just feeling like an intense emotion. If you're freaked out, like not freaked out as in like, oh wow, this is so freaky. No, freaked out as in, oh my God, I'm about to die. I'm so scared. Like when you're watching a horror movie, you might get goosebumps. And that's because it's kind of like, think of yourself as an animal, because we're all humans, but we all have some kind of like innate animal instinct. So what happens with animals is that they feel vulnerable, so immediately they want to buff up, to show like, hey, don't mess with me, I'm a big guy on campus. So technically, if we had a lot of fur and all of our hair were to rise, we would look significantly bigger than we normally would be. But unlucky for us, we're kind of bald. So we don't really have that much hair. So it doesn't really do much for us, but it happens in vulnerable states. You have piloerection. That means your hairs kind of stand up and you feel the goosebumps all over your skin. So there's a lot of reasons for this. What are the benefits? Well, when you're cold, this rising of the hair actually creates like a little layer of insulation. It traps heat, traps moisture, and it's meant to help you feel warmer. All right, number 6, you have eye twitching. Oh my God, this has happened to me. When I was in medical school, let me tell you, my roommate and I, we used to have constant eye twitching. And it's like that thing that you feel so annoyed by that you just automatically do this thing and you start massaging it and you're like, what is happening? You start tapping it. And then you're like, oh, but my eye, it's like twitching and I don't know why. And it's so uncomfortable and you feel like people notice that it's twitching. So you feel really self-conscious that you just want to put like a little patch over it and cover it up, So why does it happen? A lot of reasons. Can happen with fatigue. So obviously we were super fatigued. We were in med school, very little sleep, a lot of working hours, lots of time studying. Can happen with a lot of eye strain. So we were constantly looking at our computer screen. It also happens with too much caffeine. So my roommate actually used to get some twitching right here on her shoulder too. Too much caffeine, very little sleep. So if you find yourself having eye twitching, I suggest you take a little nap, maybe reduce the amount of caffeine that you're taking. But yeah, usually not something that's very dangerous unless it doesn't stop. So usually the eye twitching is like momentary. It happens for a few minutes and then it goes away on its own. You do nothing. Other times it doesn't go away and it can last longer. Then you should definitely go see a doctor, okay? Kind of like with hiccups. Anything that lasts too long is not that good. So if it is happening too long, go see a doctor, see what's going on. Okay, next we have memory loss. As in, oh my God, I know where I put my keys, where are my glasses? Oh, whoops, I'm wearing them. Where's my phone? Oh, whoops, I'm talking on the phone. So this actually happened to me quite often. I'd be talking on the phone with someone and I'd be like, oh my God, wait, no, I can't find my phone. So I start looking all over. They're like, wait, but you're talking to me on the phone. And I'd be like, oh yeah, sorry, my bad. You feel really stupid. But it happens. It happens because you're not sleeping. So sleep deprivation is another video I talked about. And basically you don't concentrate as well, so you don't absorb as much information. Also, if you're sleep deprived, you're not consolidating information as well as you should. So usually when you sleep, you're able to really put stuff and like cement it into your brain. So when you're not sleeping, you're more likely to forget things that you're trying to learn. So for all you med students or any kind of student, you guys should definitely get sleep. And it's not because, you're less irritable and blah, 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 but it's because it will improve your memory. Okay. Memory loss can also be associated with just loss of concentration. And this can be due to a variety of things. It can be from really big emotional stress, It can be because you're very tired, like I said, fatigue. It can also be because you're depressed. So you definitely should consider that if you're having trouble concentrating and focusing, it might not just be lack of sleep, it could be other things. So see your patterns and observe something, and if you notice something's off, go see a doctor. What's the harm? Okay? Next that I want to talk about is wrinkled fingers. Yeah, it doesn't sound very pleasant, but actually we all get wrinkly fingers when we're in the water for too long. It's kind of weird. Have you ever see that your fingers get kind of like webby and like they get all these ridges, your toes get all funky, and you're like, hey, look, I have old people hands, old people skin. We will actually make a joke of it when I was younger. But actually that's something that's supposed to be beneficial to you. It's supposed to improve gripping. When you have wrinkled skin, it basically increases the surface area and it also improves traction. So the wrinkling, think of it as the wedges you have on the bottom of your soles of your tennis shoes. The more wedges it has, the better grip you're gonna have. But if it's really slick, you're gonna probably slip and fall. So this is something really good for, you know, when you're in the water and you wanna have a little bit more grip on your feet, when you wanna be able to hold things that are wet. This is why you get wrinkly skin. So it's not just a weird side effect of being in the water for too long. Okay, the next thing I wanna talk about is tears. So yes, tears, I mean, I get emotional all the time when I'm watching certain movies, especially Lion King. I still cry when I watch Mufasa. It's pretty silly, but hey, it's my favorite movie, so no judgments, guys. This is kind of silly, but tears are protectant. They protect your eyes. Your tears have like an innate antimicrobial component that protect your eyes from infections. You know when you're walking through somewhere and you get dust in your eye and you do this whole thing and like you're like twitching like, oh my eye, there's something in my eye, and all of a sudden it's like really wet and red and irritated, but your eye is crying, you're like, oh my god, my makeup's gonna run. Yeah, it's to protect your eyes from whatever got in there. It's not supposed to be there. Get out. So you have all these things to protect yourself. The sneezing, the watering of the eye, these things are all good for you. So suck it up. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about, and I'm sure a lot of you see it. I mean, I probably do it and I don't even notice, because I sleep by myself. But if you have a significant other that you kind of take naps with and stuff, they might see that when you're falling asleep, your body does this weird jerking thing. Don't freak out, it's nothing bad, okay? Everyone does it, maybe you're just not aware that you're doing it. So there are a lot of theories. They say that when your body's slowly falling asleep, the amount of carbon dioxide starts to increase in your body, and you kind of like, it's not that you stop breathing, but you slow down your breathing, so your body is deprived of oxygen, so it'll kind of like wake you up and jerk you to do the so you can take a deep breath. That's one theory. Another theory is just normal cycle of you falling asleep. Unless you're waking up because you see that one of your limbs is jerking, then go see a doctor. If you see that your whole body is jerking, that is definitely something to be worried about, and go see a doctor. These are not things to be taken lightly, but if you're just kind of like jerk a little bit when you're falling asleep, that's not dangerous, so you can relax and just let your partner sleep. So one thing I didn't really plan on talking about today, but decided that I should, just because it might be very common and not a lot of doctors tell you why you have it, ear itching. So have you ever been with someone and they just constantly do this thing and they're like, oh, my ear itches, and then they do the classic, really nasty old person habit that they do this thing? Yeah, their ear is itching. So maybe something got in there, like a little dust mite, maybe it irritated something, maybe they were poking in there when they shouldn't have been, or maybe they just have a lot of dryness. So when it comes to postmenopausal women, they lose a lot of hormones like estrogen, and estrogen is supposed to help keep your skin moist as well as your vagina. So if your estrogen goes down, your dryness goes up, and dry skin causes itchiness. That's why you can get the vaginal itchiness and the dryness and the pain during sex. That's why you can get the itchiness and dryness inside your ears, dryness in your nostrils, which might cause nosebleeds. So that's why it's important to also moisturize those little nasal cavities. But yeah, so that was a little other fun fact that your body kind of does. If you guys have any other fun facts, or you've noticed any weird reactions that your body's having that you're like, oh, this is kind of weird, I should ask a doctor about this, give me a comment below and maybe I'll talk about it. I'll answer you guys. I love interacting. Follow me on all social media. I love to be stalked in a non-psychopathic way, okay? I have a lot of people sending me private messages on Instagram asking me medical questions, and I always answer you. Okay, so just go ahead. I might take a little time getting there to answer you, but I promise I will. I won't ignore your messages, okay, as long as they're medical and not perverted questions, because I've gotten a few of those and it's like, whoa, I don't want to see that. Anyway, guys, don't be afraid to reach out. Subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see my next post. In the future, I will be interviewing a few doctors. A few things are happening here in Miami. I also have a colleague of mine that I worked with. Well, I call him colleague, but he was actually my boss. But he's a really good friend of mine now, and he's coming down, you know, so I'm gonna try to talk to him about a few things that I think you guys might want to know. But yeah, so I'll see you guys next week. I wonder what I'll talk about then. Bye!